Hi. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome back to the 10th floor. It's me, Matt.
Everybody is cat.
Hi. Hi. Good morning.
Morning
Good
or good
morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Did you watch General Hospital this week?
I sure hope to.
I
I
hope
hope
so.
so.
There's Chandra.
There she is.
But she says, I won't be able to join you live as I'm at a real hospital with her mama. Please keep her in
Oh,
your prayers. She will be receiving a pacemaker Monday afternoon. Well, keep that in your mind, your thoughts, your positive energies out there, folks. Chandra's mama is getting a pacemaker.
okay.
Maybe
I hope
she's
everything goes textbook.
she's getting Sonny's doctors some practice work.
Perhaps the
That's what
great
it is.
physician will be there with her on Monday. I have a feeling he will be.
Well, good luck to Chandra, and we'll see you next week. Let's see, but that's not it. All right, Chandra's here, but well, Chandra was here. She stopped by to say hi.
Mhm.
So grab your snacks and your sodas.
And if you didn't bring something thinking that Chandra was going to bring you a donut, you are out of luck.
You were out of luck this time. But Kita's here. Hello, Kita. Udak, Lola's mama, George, 22. Hello, East Coaster, Carolyn, Michelle, Jeannie, Rochelle. Hi. Hey,
Good
everybody.
morning, guys.
Get on this elevator, folks. We're going all the way up to the 10th floor. And
All the
as
way up to the 10th
the
floor.
10th floor, we're going to step out on the 10th floor. You look to the left, you see everybody panicking because Carly has been poisoned with polonium.
I know, right? What is
Luckily,
baloney?
it is
Did you look it up?
I didn't look it up, but I'm sort of familiar. It is like an element or a chemical or something that was discovered in Poland, invented, done for the first time in Poland, giving the name polonium.
Oh,
And well, thank you very much to half of Scrubs, Robin Drake, because if it wasn't for her, Carly would have died.
I know, right?
Robin still saving the day from the East Coast, from the West Coast, from California, sending her research, her cure on this
Well,
particular
Robin's
poisoning.
still in She's still working at Stanford, right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, the Drakes are over in Stanford.
So I don't know if polonium was something that they used before when Robin was around and she discovered the way to solve it, or if this is something that like, well, we can use Robin for this because Emma's around. Why not?
Well, before there was Finn, there was Emma. I know. Before there was Finn, there was Robin.
Now we got Dr. Isaiah Gannon.
And
Hi,
yeah,
Sandra.
now he's the champ.
He's just Mr. Doctor. He's the doctor of General Hospital, isn't he?
He is. He's like the jack of all trades of doctoring.
Even though he's a transplant specialist, he still give you your general practitioner, right?
I bet you in a pinch, he could give you a transplant.
Just on the side of a road. I've done this lots of times, just in the woods, in the jungles. East Coaster's not happy with BLQ. I can't see why. But but you look to the left, you see people rushing over to Carly's bedside to confess truths, to save her from the brink of death, and also to remind her, good God, lady, we told you so.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody coming out of the woodwork to be like, all right, so we told you something like this might happen to you, ignored us all. We're actually really mad at Maxie, because none of this would happen if it wasn't for Maxie.
I don't know about all that.
I blame Maxie. I do.
Blame Max.
I think Maxie's got something going on. I think she's got some sort of secret happening.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny if all three of the men that have loved Carly so much, and I'm adding Jack in there actually,
I'll
would
just
convene at the same time in a
standing
trio?
shoulder to shoulder over her bed.
Sonny, Jason, and Jack.
Oh my gosh! And just
So Jason showed up.
yeah, Jason showed up and he's like, "You're done. By the way, this whole Brennan thing that you think you've been doing, it's over. I've decided."
Right. And I don't think Carly's going to go for that. I don't think she's going to go for any man telling her what she may or may not do.
Even Jason.
Even Jason. Exactly.
Count to 5, Carly. I did. And I still made the same choice.
Currently, Carly thinks Sasha is knocked up by Jason, So what you got to say? You're knocking up the help. Give me a break.
Yeah, yeah. What do you?
Even though I know you guys, Sasha's not the help. I'm
No,
just
she's the
teasing.
cook. Well, she is though, but she's also the cook.
But she's also kind of a family member too.
I mean, only not really. I mean, now,
Well, not really.
now,
Not
sure,
really. But even Tracy is treating Sasha with some grace
because
sometimes
she's carrying a Quartermaine.
because she's carrying a Quartermaine. Exactly. They just don't know which one yet, but they know there's one in there, and there is. We even saw a sonogram photo to this week.
We did, and Jason's gonna rush it all over on over to Michael, so Michael can see the little spawn.
Oh, I know. I wonder, they're eventually going to. It's obvious. It's close. It's getting closer and closer because Michael's recovery is going really well.
It is, it is. That's because the
So I
cat.
think we're
That's
going to
because
see Michael.
the search for new Michael is going really well.
Right. But what I'm saying is perhaps there might be something in the can that when Michael first is shown again, it'll be Chad.
Maybe.
They could have done that.
They absolutely could have. They could have. Yeah, I mean, when recently, most recently, when Laura, when Jeannie Francis took her break, she and Kevin filmed a couple of stuffs for them to sprinkle throughout while she was gone. About, I don't know, we're gonna go find Nicholas in Europe or some nonsense.
I mean, there could be a scene or two that's got Chad somewhat bandaged, and when they do take it all off, it's somebody else. They should have done that. I hope they did that.
Maybe they will do that. Maybe they will do that. They'll do a flashback of Michael burned, going into the unit, wrapping his face in bandages, and when they come off, it's somebody new. We did our best to make him look the same, but it's just not.
It'll be really interesting if he winds up being better looking when they because the new actor is just a little better looking.
That's just up to personal opinion, I guess.
Exactly. I did see an old scene or two of Michael from years ago when Chad had not been on the show very long. He looked so different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He had a
Yeah.
much slimmer face.
Oh yeah.
He looked like such a baby. Even his voice was a little different.
Well, he finished growing up.
Exactly.
You know, he joined the show in his early 20s or whatever. He's in the mid 30s now or something like that. That's enough
Yes.
time. That's enough time. My voice
Yes.
isn't the same.
I know. And the scene I was watching was they were on the Haunted Star, and Chad and Michael just told his mother off in front of everybody. It was
Not
good.
really a
And it was
current
a very young Chad.
Yeah. After they replaced that Drew Fuller or whatever his name was.
Yes.
Drew
And
something.
he's the kid that actually
He did.
Claudio with the law.
Yes.
Remember, he had his piece of wood.
Yeah, he had the big old piece of wood, just
Yeah, big
smashed
old
her.
piece of wood.
Or maybe-
Conquer with it.
And we never saw Sarah Joy Brown again.
Yep.
Well, except for when she stepped in to play like that Carly fantasy that one time.
That was cool.
Oh gosh. So East Coaster or not, yeah, East Coaster did not like how BLQ treated her mama.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's why East Coaster is unhappy with one Brooklyn Quartermaine.
Well, I can understand that, but I have to say though, Lois is the one. Lois is the one lying.
Lois lies. Yes, she is the one lying, omitting the truth, omitting the full story, omitting important details. Yeah, Lois has done that. Well, East Coaster finishes. Listen. Lois just told her mom. All right, it's not like she did a podcast. That's what you did there, East Coaster. It's not like she did a podcast and announced it to the world. She just said, "Hey, Mom, I need help. What do I do? Stick the kid with the Paul Marys."
I understand why Lois, and she explained this. I understand why Lois would tell Gloria because, Brooklyn needed someone to tell and someone to confide with and someone to help her. And I can understand why Lois would need the same thing and reach
Oh
out to the
yeah.
same person, her
Oh yeah.
mother.
Like
Where the lie is the whole geo fact.
yes. Yeah.
The whole geo fact.
And nobody, still nobody
Yes.
suspects. Not a single suspicion.
Yeah. I don't even think Grandma Gloria knows that it's actually geo.
I think she said so specifically last week.
Yeah.
I think she said, but we can't let her know it's Geo. You're right.
Oh gosh, I must have forgot that.
I think that's how it went down. But listen, there's a lot
Yeah.
of General Hospital, okay?
That is not a secret that's going to be hid very much longer.
No, no, no. It's on the cusp of the truth coming out.
It is.
Like lots of happens in GH, and to a point too. Like I watch a lot of soaps now, a lot of soaps, and I think about soaps because I have to podcast about it. I'm forced into this. I'm actually chained to this chair right now. You just can't see it.
I told him if he didn't keep on podcasting with me, I was going to write him out of the Quartermaine wheel.
Yeah, right. Oh, that reminds me. I got to change my name here. Rename Matthew Quartermaine. Great. Okay, I'm a Quartermaine now.
Oh, there you go.
There's a lot of GH. There's a lot of soaps, and GH is super, super fast paced. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody's involved. Everything's happening at once. So sometimes it can be a little challenging to know what really happened and remember it correctly, especially when I have dreams that I remember sometimes. It's very odd because I had to look up to see if Dex was actually still dead, because apparently I have a memory in my head of a dream that I had this week of him being in the WSB headquarters. So thank you very much, chat, for poisoning my mind for that.
You thought he was going to show up in the WSB headquarters?
I had to make sure that he didn't while I was compiling the notes.
Oh my gosh. No, he did not show up there.
He did not. He did not. No, instead we get more Jocelyn and what the hell is that guy's name? Bobby. It's not Bobby. I'm kidding.
I don't recall his name either.
Vaughn. His name is Vaughn.
I don't know. Joss is turning out to be pretty good at this, isn't she?
That's why Jack Brennan had recruited her. He knew. He recognized from afar. Ooh, she's got the mustard. She can cut the mustard.
Oh my gosh. Just wait till Carly finds out and Jason finds out where Jocelyn's really been. Oh my goodness. Jack had better run for the hills.
I want them to not know. I really want I want Jocelyn to be really good at this.
And then when they find out, you want Jocelyn to tell her mom, well, I've made my decision.
My God.
I might have been early influenced, but now I've made my decision.
Yeah.
Could happen. Could happen. You know, I'm kind of all for one of the Jaxes actually to show up
I don't.
to
I'm done.
rescue her in some way. And I'm not talking about Ingle. I'm talking about a recast for Ingle. Or maybe good old Uncle Jerry. He's crazy as all get out. Probably not, huh?
I'm not into it. I'm not into it.
Not into it?
I think the Jaxes can be done.
Oh, okay.
I think
The only Jax you want on your screen is Jocelyn Jax.
I think that it's time for Jocelyn to have no other Jax family members and for her to have to be Batman. You know, just a secret agent with access to just a crap ton of money, in which she can have gadgets and a costume and a cape.
We could start calling her Agent 99. You got to be a certain age to know who that is.
Ooh, I'm not an Agent 99 knower, so don't tell me. I mean, tell me.
Agent 99 is a sidekick for Get Smart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know those references. I didn't see any Get Smart.
He used to talk on his shoe.
Shockingly enough, I did not see the inspiration for Inspector Gadget, but I did see Inspector Gadget. So.
Get Smart is the inspiration for the cartoon.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun,
Exactly.
dun, dun, dun. Oh gosh, Jeannie and Udak know who Agent 99 is, so boom,
I knew you would, Jeannie.
boom, a boom, a boom, a boom, boom, boom. Let's see. I want her to be with Dex, says Jeannie. I just don't know. I don't think we're gonna get that, Jeannie. I think once again, Time and time again, we repeat on this podcast, Dex is dead. And anytime we make a declarative statement like that, we're always correct. We're never wrong.
I think Vaughn is going to think she's so awesome and such a great agent and just so beautiful and just so everything that he's going to fall for her hard.
What if she kisses Vaughn and she's like, wait a minute. And then she reaches to his face and pulls off his mask and he's Dex.
What if he finds out his name is Vaughn Heller?
What if his name is Heller Vaughn?
What if it is?
We were kids when it was on, Cat, but it was reruns too. Mm-hmm. See, that
I
show's
don't-
even a
I
little
don't
bit before
recall
your
it being
time.
Prime time. I don't recall it being prime time. The very first thing I ever remember watching prime time and knowing it and remembering it is the very first episode, first season of Star Trek. That is what I remember watching as a prime time television show. I was 5. That's the first memory I have. Primetime Star Trek, new series, and my aunt was living with us at the time. I was 5 years old. My aunt was living there, and my aunt was saying, I want to watch this. I want to watch Star Trek. And my mom and dad saying, I don't want to watch that crap.
Poor Aunt Lee. Come on. Let her watch Star Trek. Come on. Aunt Lee just wanted to watch a little Trek. Just wanted to watch a little Trek. Everybody loves
Does that
Star
make
Trek.
sense, Matt? When was Star Trek out? When did that?
It was like 68 or something.
Well, I was still living in Alameda. I was 5. I remember.
I mean, that tracks. It was like 66 to 68 or something is when the original Star Trek was on.
Well, I was 5 in 1966.
Well, perfect then. Perfect. It was definitely a mid 60s show. For sure.
But isn't that funny though? Because you love that show so much, and the first primetime thing I ever recall seeing.
Oh, goodness. I mean, Dad liked it too. Dad stayed up late to watch Star Trek and tried to keep it from Grandpa Carl. And then there was the Desilu Productions logo at the end, and that was when I learned that Lucy had saved Star Trek. She sat there on the NBC panel board of directors and was like, you guys need to figure out how to make this show, okay? Boom. Anyway, enough of that. Basilini reminds us that Dex had an autopsy. We totally know. We're just saying.
Oh, absolutely, we recall, because that's the scene where Crazy Cyrus goes in there and cuts his ID bandage off.
I'm gonna grab your ID, man, because I'm a serial killer.
To put in his trophy case as a serial
But
killer.
Jeannie says that the WSB can fake an autopsy, and she's right.
Yes, they could.
If Duke Lavery can be Cesar Faison, then we could fake an autopsy on a soap opera easily.
Oh gosh, absolutely.
It was just it was a life model decoy from Marvel. You know, it was just a really sophisticated robot. Why not?
They could do anything they wanted.
They could.
They could. Yeah. You know, and there was a lot about Dex that they never did really explain, you know.
That's why people are still like, come on, this guy's not really dead, right? It's because people, like, it's interesting because Isaiah joins the cast and just shoots out like a cannon, right?
Yeah.
Isaiah the Cannon Gannon. Isaiah the Cannon Gannon. And then we have, like, the recast. Lucas, you know, Van Hansis is really just taking the role and just ran with it. And he's got some interesting and compelling stuff. I love his acting choices. Like, just he's been really engaging addition to the show, you know?
I really do. I forgot his name now, Matt. But the young man that's playing Lucas now.
Mm-hmm. Van Hansis.
And he hasn't been on very long.
No.
I would have to say he's in, like, the top 3 ability to act.
Oh, he's one of the best actors I've ever seen on a soap opera.
He is so good.
And he's it's interesting because he's handsome enough, but he's not like Tom Cruise.
Right.
So I think that might be just like the element that has kept him from like breaking out into a higher echelon of fame and notoriety, because this guy is extremely talented.
He is so good.
But he doesn't have the Channing Tatum. He doesn't have the Tom Cruise. He doesn't have the whatever it is that you're looking for when it comes to your super lead.
He is certainly not handsome, but he's not over the top soap opera handsome either.
He's not an uggo, but he's not.
He just looks like an ordinary man to me, like, you know, someone in the middle of the road.
Exactly. And it's just yeah, so I'm happy that he's on our soap because goodness gracious, he really knows
And
how to sell the moments.
his scene with Carly while she's in the hospital is just so
I
good.
almost used it as the still this week for the cover, but I didn't. I changed it. It wasn't that. I
So
actually
natural, so believable.
yeah, it was. But I didn't want to use Lucas twice because I used him last week. And if somebody's looking through the library of podcast videos, I don't want it to be too much of the same person side by side.
If we ever have a chance to meet him, we have to just tell him how much we appreciate his skills.
He's so good. He's good. Van Hansis can easily transition to primetime, says East Coaster, and he absolutely could. But he wouldn't be cast as the chief of staff, lead central character doctor on the new ER spinoff. That would be given to somebody else. He would still be great surgeon, good best friend, guy who's there, has his own stories, his own plots, his own romances, all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to the face on the poster, it's not him. And it sucks to say those sorts of things, but that's something that Hollywood considers.
And I don't want him to be in General Hospital either. I want him to.
Yeah, I would love for him to stick around.
I want him to stick around. I want him to be a mainstay. I do.
Yeah, he's brought so much to Lucas, and like I said, he sells every moment, and he does it so well. He sold the thing. Like I believed that he was almost reconnecting with Brad. I believe that he feels like, good God, this guy again. I believe that he got wrapped up in this thing. I believe that he barfed all over Marco.
Right?
I just believe everything about Lucas Spencer.
I'm not, well, you know that we don't know what's going on with Marco, though. We don't know.
No.
Of course, it was kind of leaked by Eva LaRue that perhaps
So
he's
yeah.
Eloy.
So last week when we were podcasting and being like, ooh, what if Marco's Eloy? Miss Eva LaRue herself posts a picture of her, this dude, I don't know his real name yet, and Jacqueline Grace Lopez, who played Blaze, hanging out somewhere, seems like some sort of backstage environment. And
It did look like it's backstage environment.
And she's like, hashtag, I love filming with my kids. Thanks, Eva LaRue, very much for the huge spoiler, which I'm sure General Hospital's not super happy about. But like we talked off air with each other, she probably just didn't know that it hadn't been revealed yet. She heard, oh, great, Marco, people are talking about Marco. Okay, so his stuff is airing.
Yes.
Hi, Janet.
But right now he's airing as Marco, and the story's not being told that he's other than the business card that I spied.
No evidence yet, other than Ava LaRue's
No
big
evidence
spoiler on
at all.
Instagram.
When there's a scene between Marco and Natalia or Marco and Jens
Sidwell.
You got a good look to be a combination kid of those two, though.
Oh yeah, and he's the body type and all that you were really hoping that this Eloy could be, like kind of the more larger, masculine, not some sort of skinny guy that can get blown away in the wind.
And I wonder, this doesn't, now, what do you think about this, Matt? So they're introducing Marco. Are they introducing Marco as a gay or introducing Marco as someone that's just
I don't know.
being gay today?
I don't know. We'll have to see, because that's a real thing.
I know, because that doesn't make sense. That makes phobia Natalia have two gay kids she don't know about. What's wrong with her?
Well, denying knowledge of, until, oh my gosh, I've been confronted by my own bad, and now I'm over it, folks. Remember that? She's over it now.
That's true. That's what the character's over it now.
I can't speak for any sort of realistic comparison, because I don't have any of my own kids, and of my brother and sister, I'm the only one that's attracted to the same gender. But having two kids who are interested in not having babies, essentially, could have a psychological effect on the mom, being like, but what about my grandkids? Like, that's a real thing. Even if gay couples are out there adopting and surrogating and figuring it out and having families and all that sort of stuff, it's still a consideration. If both of your kids, then that's something you consider.
I I know a family. I used to work with this girl years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and she and her two brothers were adopted, all from separate families, and all three of them youngins turned out to be gay, and they're all adopted.
It just happens. It
It
happens.
just happened.
I know someone whose sister is into the ladies, which means that him and his sister are both not interested. Which makes it so their mom is pretty much just like, well, they're what my dream.
Yeah, yes and no, but that yeah. Well, you just it makes it different, doesn't
It makes it different. It's not
It
when
makes
you
it
it's
different,
when you held your baby for the first time and you imagined their life. It wasn't that. So,
right? I can attest to that.
do you see a Joss and Vaughn romance at some point? Of course.
Absolutely. And if well, I know not necessarily like a relationship, but do I see Vaughn in Port Charles someday? Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. He's totally
Oh, yeah.
following her to the training is finished, but that doesn't mean we're just going to let you into the field without supervision.
Right. You're going to have
You're
this,
working
and not
together.
only is he your trainer, but he's going to be your first partner on your first assignment.
Exactly. And in order to sell this thing, you're going to be like, "Oh, mom, here's this man that I met on my travels. We fell in love."
That makes sense. Mm-hmm. That's a good cover story.
It's a great cover story, and that's what
A
she's going to
great
come
cover
back with a
story.
cover. She's going to come back with a mission. It's going to be interesting. And I don't want Carly and Jason and Sonny and all of them to find out right away. I really want the show to milk it.
You want
Really
them
do.
to be completely hoodwinked.
I want her to be supremely successful at doing this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do. I genuinely do. Because she's sitting there, she's doing the social media. God, this is exhausting to keep up with. She gets the advice on why it's important, advice on distancing yourself from people that you're going to care about because it's really challenging to handle in this sort of line of work. Vaughn
Yeah.
was just like, sometimes it's easier to just not have friends than to lie to them all the time.
Right. And to keep your light and not only that, but to just keep your life straight in your brain.
Yeah.
To remember what your lot what you almost keep a journal of what your lies were.
Yes, exactly. Like it's tough, but I think Jocelyn's gonna be fine. It's gonna be difficult. She'll have trouble. She'll make a mistake. She'll almost get found out. But I really do want the show to milk it for a little while. Because I want
Well,
I want the explosion to be big. I don't want it to be you did this for 3 weeks. I want it to be you've been doing this for a year.
that is more impactful.
It is more impactful, you know.
Yes.
And they find out because she's talking to some sort of portrait of somebody hanging over a fireplace, right? You know, your classic soap faux pas. Well, I shouldn't have said that then. They can have grandkids another way. Of course they can have grandkids another way. I tried to make sure that was clear before saying anything. It's a minefield out there, Ma, sometimes. It is. It's tough. It's tough. I was discussing with the person in this house over potentialities for the future. Some of them positive and some of them not positive. And then the not positive ones was like, why are you even bringing that into speech? How come you gotta turn that into, you're putting that energy out there? We can't be limited, right? We gotta talk about it all.
Sure.
I guess. I don't know. The actor who plays Marco is openly gay, as is Van Helms. That don't
Oh,
mean nothing,
no.
but it could mean everything.
It could. It could. It could.
I
You know
love
what,
the
though?
possible Lucas and
If
Marco pair.
both of those young men are gay, well, a love scene between them and a good kiss between them is going to be a whole lot more convincing than what Lucky and Liz are showing us.
I like you.
Exactly.
I like
Get
you.
it together this week.
I like you. Well, that's what we're gonna get. They're trying.
And
They're trying to simulate the recapturing of young teenage love. You know.
I understand that. And if that's not what they want to do, well, then just don't do it. Don't show us something that we're going to go, what's that?
Well, I mean, I'm not really thinking about it when it's happening, so it might just be a section of the audience that is considering it. Plus, I'm not super invested in the physical displays of love between the characters anyway, so I'm already
No, you're
kind of
not.
half off of it. Like I just, like I get it. I get that it's part of soap operas or has been since Doug and Julie, but it's never been why I watched soaps You know, it's never been because I want to see these two young hot people roll around in bed. I don't care.
Exactly.
I don't care about that. I love the possible Lucas and Marco pairing. We don't know anything about Marco, so I don't know what there is to be excited about, other
And
than potential.
well, I know that he's going to show up in Port Charles. I know that. I'm looking forward to this scene between he and his father. I really am.
There's a lot of questions, isn't there?
There's a ton of
And
questions.
GH has been doing really good when it comes to the introduction of these new characters, too. So when a new character shows up, there's reason to kind of be excited about it right now. Because they've been hitting it. They've been doing real good with it.
Yeah, it's like it could possibly be the permanent adding of another family. It could
The
be.
entire, the whole plan with the reintroduction of Blaze. Because she came in and she was just Chase's singing partner. Then they
Right.
brought her back with romance, with a plan, with a mom, with soap characterization.
And her relationship with Christina.
With Christina. So it's entirely possible that the original plan was to have this Blaze family. I'm not sure what her last name is. What is it? I don't know.
I don't know. Her name is Allison. What is Allison's last name?
I don't remember. I don't
It
remember.
wasn't Sidwell.
No,
We
it's
know
not
that.
Sidwell. No, we would have known that for sure. For sure. And she's Ramirez. Natalia Ramirez, right?
Yes.
Yes. I love the idea of casting openly gay actors to play openly gay characters. Of course, acting is acting, but it's great from a standpoint of employing openly gay actors. Well, great. And I think the caveat in that statement is openly gay actors because let me tell you, folks, you watched a lot of gay actors. A lot of them. A lot of them. You just don't know.
Gee, especially in the old days.
Especially a Rock Hudson. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And even the ones that were like totally obvious, but then just never said anything, like that one uncle from Bewitched.
Yeah. Paul
You know.
Lynn.
Yeah, Paul Lynn, the center square.
Yeah.
Gay as the day is long.
Yes.
Never said so.
Exactly.
Even Nathan Lane was closeted up until it was okay to and then he went through the oh God, I can't remember anything when I try to podcast, Mom. It's so sad.
Another
The
person.
Rocket Man, you know the Rocket Man. Elton John.
Elton John.
They crossed the bisexual bridge on the way to Gayland.
Exactly. He even got married for a minute. To a woman. He got married for a minute to a woman.
Yeah, both of them did.
Another person though that I never knew, and Lily Tomlin. I didn't know she was gay.
Yeah, see, because sometimes it doesn't matter. And then, famously, if you're a long-term watcher here on 10th Floor Podcast, you'll know the day that I learned that Anthony Geary was married to a man.
I know, and everybody laughed. James Jr. He laughed at us so hard over that.
He actually invited me to come sit on his show that same day because I didn't know and he wanted to talk to me about it.
I remember.
I didn't know he ran off and married some dude in Amsterdam, but he did. We're getting a list here. Paul Lynn, Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great for representation. I think that's why Pride is important because you get to see your lawyers, your doctors, your actors, your school teachers, your every walk of life out there saying, by the way, I'm married to a man. And it's important. It's important for representation and important for people out there to feel comfortable with their own life and their own choices and see that there's a future out there. So kudos on that. Great on that. But we also don't need to be pigeonholed. You know, they're actors as well. They could play straight, they play gay, they could play trans, they could play anything that the character needs. And I think that's important when it comes to being an actor, when it comes to the art form of television and movies, is to leave it open and not say, well, since this character is this way, then the person who's playing them must be this way as well. I think that's limiting.
I think it's limiting too.
I think it's limiting. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Absolutely.
But if it's not going to work out, pick somebody who's going to do the job well. Michelle says, I didn't know that. I imagine that's in reaction to Anthony Geary being married to a man.
Yes.
And it's funny, too, because people don't call him gay. They say that he's married to a man. It's so weird. It's interesting. It's interesting how he kind of sidesteps the word.
No, I don't know if this is true, but I remember hearing, not knowing, but just hearing, of course, that part when Elizabeth Taylor was on General Hospital, she was having a relationship with Tony Geary.
See, he's just a fluid man.
I don't know
Can
if
you
that's
imagine?
true.
I don't know if it's true. Hello, Nakia. Nikia? Oh, God, I forgot. I forgot how to say it. Hello, Ms. Harris. Oh, my goodness gracious. East Coaster thinks I'm right, and I love that because East Coaster and I think differently. And then, so when East Coaster's like, you know what, you're right, it feels very validating. Mom, did you know that Jack Brennan is actually the leader of the entire WSB and not just this field office?
Yes.
That's something we learned
Yes.
today. We also learned today that the type of explosion went missing from the WSB lockers.
Yes.
The type of explosive device used to blow up Sonny's penthouse.
Right.
So, here's my new question. My newest question, Mother. Is Sidwell actually a WSB secret agent?
He could be.
And he is just on the level of somebody like Brennan, who just happened to have a mining operation.
Now he doesn't have a good reason. I don't, and not that I would think that I can think of. But do you remember who was it? Who was the right before Jack Brennan? Who was WSB before that and got let go?
Yeah, so his what?
Frisco Jones.
Frisco, yes, Frisco. He so it got a little murky when it comes to the history and then the pikeman ending and then this and the who was really doing what. And I think that they're trying to hope. I'm thinking. I'm speculating. I'm putting thoughts and words into the mouths of the creators here. This isn't something that they said, and isn't something that I can necessarily point to any sort of real evidence to support, other than just my feelings.
Because we don't know nothing.
Because we don't know these people. We've never been back there. We don't know crap. Don't come here for the news. With that said, I think that they are trying to utilize the confusion of that time as part of the story of things were loose. None of it was really true. None of it was really real. The conversation between Valentin and Brennan in the van about Sonny's meds wasn't what we thought it was. It was still coded, all sorts of different stuff.
Yes.
So Valentin wasn't pikeman, Brennan was pikeman. Brennan isn't good, he's actually bad, and Valentin knew this the whole time. Brennan actually has been painting me as the villain, the mastermind of all of this, and I'm not. And I need you to know, Sonny, that he tried to blow you up. I need you to know, Anna, that he's the problem. Just throw me in the slammer.
Yeah.
Or try to let me go. Oh, you're not. Oh, I can't do that again, darling.
Wasn't, yeah. Well, Valentin was, he tricked everybody into thinking he took off. He did not take off. He doubled back.
No.
I loved it.
So I don't really know when Frisco left the WSB. I don't know if it's recent or before, because chat's going through saying, well, what happened to the WSB being the good guys? And that changed when Victor Cassadine took over.
I agree.
When it was revealed that Victor Cassadine was the head of the WSB, back when it was Tau Puglis from Days of Our Lives. Not Charles Shaughnessy from Days of Our Lives, but the other guy from Days of Our Lives. I think that's kind of the turning point, because when he was the head of the WSB, he started their secret projects, their B613 isms from Scandal, and weren't just, well, we're not going to call us the FBI, but we're the FBI.
And that was before that Uncle Victor went crazy and decided that 80% of humans needed to die.
Listen, I saw this movie recently. It was called Avengers Endgame, in which Thanos, a giant purple alien, thought that he should eliminate half of the universe to help balance resources and keep those alive longer. And I really liked that idea. And since we're all owned by the same company, we're just going to do Avengers Iceland, everybody. And that's kind of what it was, Ma. Spencer and Trina and Laura and Curtis and Drew and Jason and all went to Greenland to go stop Victor. It was GH Avengers.
Yeah, and that was when Drew was a good person.
And people are still holding it against him. Like, you were just a doof out there. You didn't do anything. Listen, folks, I remember him in gunfights. I remember him saving Jason before Jason got the rocks tumbled on his head.
And you remember they had made a brotherly connection at
They had
that
made a
point
brotherly
too?
connection. The only thing is, they just put that stupid hat on him. They put that stupid Navy hat on him. And if it wasn't for the stupid Navy hat, and I'm sorry if you have a big love for the stupid Navy hat, but I think it's a stupid Navy hat. And if they didn't have the stupid Navy hat on him, then he wouldn't look like such a doof.
Maybe.
And, Cameron Matheson also has kind of a Philip Kiriakis about him.
Oh,
When
with
it
the
comes
faces?
when it comes to the use of an eye, a wide eye,
Yeah.
Cameron
Yeah.
Matheson does that. Wait, I wish Tony Geary will come back. This makes me sad. He went to another country to marry a man. Dude's retired. Dude's retired. I'm convinced that Luke Spencer really is dead on the show. Like, he was killed by Victor, and the ashes was really his. And
I think so too.
because Tony was not coming back.
Tony's not coming
Tony
back.
is not gonna come. He's not gonna come back for 5 seconds.
And if you see it, and I've seen some current photos of him, if you see current photos of him, Tony Geary is a much older.
Elderly man. He's an
He is. He
yeah.
is.
He,
He's
he he would he would look like great grandpa Luke. So if he
he
were to
would.
return to the show, he might have a quip. He might have a fun thing to say. He'll have a nickname for somebody. But any sort of like classic memories you have of him toting a pistol and jumping off in an ambulance, that's not happening anymore.
I think the only way, and God forbid this ever happened, the only way that Tony Geary might come back for a cameo is if something happened to Jeannie Francis.
Possibly. But I have no idea what their relationship is like. No clue.
No, not at all.
None. Just because you
None at
work
all.
together, just because you were a super couple. You also have to keep. I also try to keep in mind too that while they were the super couple, and while they sure had things to do because the characters shared kids and stuff, it wasn't the Luke and Laura show. It was.
No, it was not.
It was never kind of the Luke and Laura show. It was for a second, when they were getting married. But shortly after they got married, what did they do? Leave town.
Yes, yes,
They
yes.
come back, there's a Lucky, and then there's a split, and then a Luke wants to be here, and Laura doesn't, and then Laura wants to be there, but Luke doesn't, and it just really had not been the Luke and Laura show. So I don't
Oh,
know
and
what relationship they have.
Luke's last love was
Tracy.
Tracy.
And Laura's
Absolutely.
current love is Kevin. And who knows what's going to happen with that?
Who knows what's going to happen with that?
Who knows? Who knows? Kevin Richards might go to the
Still
attic.
going to pop in and be on a scene or two.
He'd be like, oh, by the way, I've been off screen raising Ace.
I would really, really believe that if The Gates was filmed in the same part of the country, I would really say he's going to pop in.
But no, they're
We don't
not.
know how big his really role is on The Gates yet either.
He's a guest. He's supporting, kind of
Yeah,
like an enhanced guest, like on enough to be able to push his part, but not an everyday player. He's not gonna marry into one of the families.
I don't think so.
And he still should be talking like this, but he's not. Where is Kevin and Ace? They're on the second level of the house, of the penthouse or whatever, the condo that
Hmm.
Laura lives in. And they're just upstairs in
Hmm.
Ace's room, reading books, watching YouTube videos,
Yep.
all sorts of different stuff while Laura is busy being the mayor, trying to hold her family together, having meetings with Marty.
Always having to talk down her daughter.
Talking to like so. Your plan is to what you want to. Okay, let me explain to you some things that happened in Rocco's life before you showed up, Lulu. So he was happy, real happy. He missed you, but he was happy.
Hmm.
To a point in which when Sam passed away, he was like, I feel bad that I didn't tell her how much I loved her. Then the three kids tried to stay together in the Quartermaine house, but then Drew was being a huge asshole and took Scout away from that. All right. So the life that your kid grew up in is completely falling apart. And so your plan is to then help destroy it? Good luck, Lulu.
Lulu, boy, they really backtracked on Lulu. She is that impulsive, not thinking things through. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she's a Spencer. She reminds me of Carly when Carly was younger. Carly still does this, but when Carly was younger, it was even more so. She didn't think through anything. She was impulsive, 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 and so is Lulu. Lulu make a poor decision in a heartbeat because she doesn't think through anything.
No, 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 no. From what was said, Tony and Jeannie weren't Luke and Laura.
Yeah. Well, yeah. In fact, they are still just Tony and Jeannie, not Luke and Laura.
But
You know,
same.
the phenomenon of Luke and Laura at the time was just so big.
A phenomenon too. Like it just captured the imaginations of people. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe you all know, but I don't.
It
Just
just caught
caught,
crazy
right?
fire.
Just caught.
And you
People
know, and
liked
it
it.
was also the beginning of the adventurism of General Hospital too.
That's when they were starting to
They
jump off
just
of the
caught
ambulance.
fire. They
Just
just
caught.
did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Became a thing. Became a whole thing. Sometimes you don't know why.
The whole
Sometimes it
thing.
just happens. Oh, we need. Let's see. I know tons of Natalias. Well, that's good. Let's see. Adam Huss was grateful that Maurice admitted that. I don't know what you're referring to. East Coaster admitted what?
Yeah.
It might have something to do with gayness.
Oh, Laura, Laura made a reference to Nicholas this week.
It's because we can't forget that Nicholas is out there.
Yeah, because she was saying everybody is accounted for, even Nicholas.
Even Nicholas. No problems.
Oh my gosh, I want Nicholas to come back, and I want it to be Adam Huss.
It would be. It would be. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for that. I don't. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. But
And
also at the same time, if they
will
don't have something for him to
tell you
do.
the absolute scene where, the absolute scene where I wanted to be Adam Husk. Do you remember when he came to his mom's door with a ace on his hip,
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah. He's like, my
Oh my
son is
God.
dead. What am I doing with my life? Here, take Ace. I need to go to jail.
It was just so good, though.
It was
That
good.
scene was so good.
Because Adam Huss is also one of the more talented people that they have. No offense to anybody else that's on the show, but he's definitely somebody that knows how to hit that mark and hits those high emotions and sells it believably and convincingly on his face.
Yes, he
And
does.
that's good. Chase can't arrest Lulu without telling Laura. Why does he have to tell Laura? Laura's not the chief of police. She's just the mayor. Do you think that Laura gets a report every day of every person that's been arrested?
No, probably not.
Would she find out because her daughter's been arrested? Absolutely. But Chase does not owe her a gosh darn word.
No. This ain't Days of Our Lives. Paulina knows everything. Laura doesn't.
I'm just saying that, like, it just in the structure, he doesn't owe Laura anything. He could want to tell her. But
Right.
if anything, she would call the police station and say, why was my daughter arrested? She wouldn't call Chase and say, why did you arrest my daughter? Unless she does. It's just a threat. He said, or I will, not I'm gonna. So he's just using it
He's
to
just
to get her to stay quiet, to follow through, to enforce her promise. You know, I don't want to use the M word. What manipulation is there?
I don't know.
I don't think the M word is correct because it's a loaded word. Like, sure, manipulation is right. I manipulated this object by picking it up and now I dropped it. I've manipulated it.
Yes.
But
More than one meeting.
more than one meeting. But typically, when it comes to manipulating another person, that carries a more negative tone, a negative connotation with it. I'm pushing you to do something you don't want to do for my benefit, which is sort of what's happening. But also at the same time, shut the fuck up, Lulu. This isn't your thing.
Right?
So if I have to enforce your promise to my wife that you're not going to say anything by saying, if you do, here's your real consequence, I think that's totally justified.
Yeah.
And I like that Chase. I like it when Chase is like, okay, so we're breaking this down into its most basic. You're effing with my wife. I don't care if I don't care that I'm a Chase. I don't care that my brother's Finn. I don't care that I'm a cop. I don't care that I was poisoned by Peter. I don't care about any of these things. We're talking about my wife. If you mess with her, I will mess with you in return. I like it. And it's not, and it's great. And he even knows about the Dante thing now. And he's like, I'll keep it a secret. He's not melting down and being destroyed or having this crisis that we were speculating about.
I'm wondering though, yes, he didn't, he's promised not to tell Dante and even had a scene with Dante after that. But can he really not tell Dante? Can he really keep it a secret?
We'll see what happens. Maybe not. I think that Lulu is more likely to break than Chase.
Yeah.
But it's also possible that now that Chase knows, he might say something accidentally.
Could.
But still, nobody knows about the geo of it all, and that's really what's going to blow it up. When
Oh, yes.
Brooklyn finds out that it's geo, she will not be able to contain herself.
No. And she is going to pack her mama's bags.
Chase can't arrest Laura's daughter without telling her why. How is Chase going to explain to Dante why he arrested Lulu? By saying, read the report. I filed a report, Dante. All of your answers are there. She broke into Martin Gray's office and read materials that were privileged between client and lawyer. Well, he's my uncle. Okay, so that explains why you might have been able to get in the door, but doesn't explain why you read his lawyer files, which is illegal.
Yeah, and then ran with it.
Mm-hmm. So I get it. I get where you're coming from, East Coaster, but also at the same time, Chase is protected because she committed a crime. Mm-hmm. It was an empty threat. Maybe it was.
Did you love Uncle Marty in handcuffs? I sure did.
I don't love Uncle Marty in handcuffs. I enjoy my Uncle Marty with his freedom and tact, but what I do enjoy is Michael E. Knight and his bucking up and fighting Tracy until Tracy's like, well, here's this thing that you're not going to be able to get over. And then he slinks down like a wounded little 3-year-old and says, Laura, help. I love it. Do something about this little sister. Okay, Tracy, what do we need to do to make it go away? Because she knows the Tracy.
Yes.
You're doing that. You don't really want to. You don't really, and you're just doing this. You're just doing your Quartermaine thing. What is it? What is it? Just leave the crypt alone.
Yeah.
Just
That's
leave
all
the
it
crypt.
is.
You're gonna move your own dad, Drew? I didn't really know him.
Right. You're really that slimy now? Come on.
And now, okay, so you know how I was making fun of Drew before. You know how McConkey doesn't have any other friends in Congress. No other political friend that he could have pushed into this position. He had to pick the dude he met 2 weeks ago, and it's I like what you're up to, man.
Ridiculous.
But now Drew has his own little Congress friend. Mm-hmm. And his name, I wrote it down, Ezra Boyle. That's a good politician's name.
Yeah, it is.
That's a good politician's name. Senator Ezra Boyle. Because somebody with the name Ezra Boyle will want to be president one day.
Yeah, probably.
That's it.
And we looked at it as the
President
boil
Boyle.
on the ass of the United States.
Yes. Oh God. Oh no, we don't need that.
No.
But he is played by Daniel Cosgrove, that we know from All My Children.
Yeah. Well, I told you when we were off, when we weren't podcasting at the time, that I recognized him, but I just didn't know from what, because what I recognize him from is a while ago, right? Mm-hmm. A while ago. Mm-hmm. 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 Which means that he maybe can keep up with the pace of a soap opera. Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes. I see. Michelle wanted us to make sure that we understand that she wants Tony Geary to come back to the show. She doesn't necessarily care that it has to be Luke. She just likes Tony.
Yeah. Well, I do too.
So.
I do too. And when Luke, Tony Geary, really left, and we knew, I was kind of sad for that. I've always enjoyed Luke.
Well, certain characters leave a hole on the canvas.
Sure.
And Luke is one of them.
Luke is one of them.
I would say, like, if Elizabeth were to leave, there would be a huge hole in the canvas. Mm-hmm. Because she's a regular player. I know that Elizabeth fans don't always think that she gets the best stuff. Mm-hmm. But good God, is she always around? Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it would be like a big normal thing. A thing that makes you feel like you're watching General Hospital.
Right.
Would be gone.
Yes.
Would be gone. And I feel bad for the people who loved Days of Our Lives and have watched it for decades and decades and decades, because the current cast, while still has a Kate and a Roman and a Marlena and an old Patchy, is not Bo and Hope and Abe and all of these huge classic characters from before. General Hospital still has a good number, like a good number, a really well connected. So I do feel a little bit bad for those Days people who have a lot of holes. There's no Victor, there's no Stefano, there's no John. Like there's
Right.
really, really, really big holes in that show right now that they're trying to fill, but it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Yep.
Daniel Cosgrove was also on Days of Our Lives as a love interest for Hope when Bo first left. And Bo came back and killed the bad guy Aiden, then died in Hope's arms. Days of Our Lives, my God. Clean up your act. Daniel Cosgrove was from Days, the worst Hope storyline. See, people know him from Days a little bit more, but we weren't peacockers. We weren't NBC people. We only know the little 4 years that he played Scotty Chandler
Yep.
on All My Children. I think he was the last Scott Chandler. He was on
Yeah.
he was on in like the mid 90s or whatever, and then he was on in the 2000s, and there was like 5 different Scotts throughout the entire character's life. But he
Right.
played him twice, and ultimately his entire run was about 3 or 4 years as Scott. Daniel Cosgrove got the short end of the stick in a bad storyline that changed midway. Hey, welcome to Soaps.
Yep.
Ooh.
That was probably due to some kind of shakeup behind the scenes, a writer's thing or something.
I mean, if you bring back a character and then he then dies of a brain tumor. So, Kristen Alfonso, who plays Hope, and then Peter Reckle, who plays Bo, both in like 2014 or so were like, yeah, we're done. Like we had a great run, huh? Hey, we're done. And from reaction and speculation and conversation and all that sort of stuff, because it's happening right now, because Peter Reckle's shown interest in returning, and Kristen Alfonso did a couple of days, a month ago or whatever. People are bringing it up. The fact that they said they would never do it again. And folks, it always boils down to 2 things: how much money are you paying me, and how much fun is this going to be? If I'm not being paid enough to not have fun, then I want to leave. And when you're Bo and Hope, you kind of have that power, because there will be no other Bo and there will be no other Hope.
Just like there could never be another Luke either.
There's not going to be another Luke. There's not going to be another Monica. We're not going to get a recast Sonny. As a matter of fact, Sonny might have a heart attack and die at the end of the story, for as all as I know. Because boy, they are painting it thick. This man is going down with a Widowmaker.
Yeah, he's going to have some kind of huge attack.
Massive. Now, whether or not Sonny survives it, I can't say, because I don't know what the future holds for Maurice Bernard. Y'all in chat probably know how many days are left on his contract and this and the other. I don't know, but we've also shown time and time again recently that a contract doesn't necessarily really matter either. Because you can get out of it if you ask, and they can say, hey, by the way, we're done. Like
or you don't have a contract, but you're recurring. You still have a job, but just not as many days.
Right. Not Eric, but Charles Measure, who played Jack originally, left. He was still under contract. He still had episodes to fill. General Hospital could have even been like, all right, legally you have to stay. But they didn't. They let him go, and they recast it real quick and all that kind of stuff, because we don't want no drama, not real life drama. We're just trying to make our dumb TV show.
And you know what? I would think that if an actor is truly that unhappy and wants out so bad, is it going to shine across the screen to some point?
100%, especially if you're somebody like Brennan. The audience would see the shift in how interested you are. I really think that. I came across something that is an unsubstantiated, possibly true, possibly false rumor. Do you want to hear it?
Sure, of course.
About Charles Measure. And about who the real culprit behind his departure was.
It was not him?
I mean, he made the decision, but he had to make the decision because... Rumor has it that old Stevie B, Steve Burton, Jason, was like, Frank, I see what you're doing here, and I don't want to date Anna.
Yeah.
I'm not into it. I'm not into this idea. I'm not into this story. I don't want to do this with Finola.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it. I don't want this for Jason, and I don't want to play this. Is what it was. Frank goes, okay. All right, we'll retool it, we'll rework it, we'll figure it out. And Steve Burton goes, well, you could. But given this point in my life, and given this point in the character's life, and given everything that we've done before now, I really think that there's really only one person on this show that makes any sense for Jason to be with. Carly.
Yeah.
I don't know. This thing is it's hidden with Jack, dude. Like the audience is they're for it. They're for it. Mm-hmm. Charles Measure hears about this and goes, oh, well, I've been on enough TV shows to know who has the pull and who's the new guy. So I'm going to just go ahead and get out before this guy makes my incredibly popular character and my good time on a soap tremendously unfun.
Could be.
Steps away.
Could be.
They change it. What's my initial feeling when they make the change of the actors? Oh gosh, I don't trust him anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't think that this man is a good guy anymore.
Right.
I think that his secrets are a little too close to the lips now. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's true.
But I find it would be weird though for them to put Carly and Jason together and have them ultimately not survive. They're not old enough for that to be their last stand. You know what I mean? They would have to break up and get together and break up and get together.
They might not necessarily. They're older. They don't see. The thing is, these folks are 55. They got grandkids. What's our rule?
You got to have grandkids.
Jason doesn't got grandkids right now, but Carly does. I see it from Steve Burton's point of view. Why are we wasting our time continuing to do all of this nonsense with relationships that nobody's going to care about? Jason is about Sam and Jason is about Carly. Anything else outside of those two women is a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I agree with it.
And obviously, he is not going to pursue Sasha. He's going to portray the baby's father like he's promised to.
We're not going to get Sasha and Jason romance.
We are not going to get I thought maybe we were for a hot minute, but no, we're not. We're not going to get. He's going to stay Uncle Jason with Sasha.
I think that it's really, really clear. There's nothing softening inside Jason toward Sasha, which we would be seeing by now.
Yes.
Like an intimate conversation, a handhold, a confession to Jason that brings out some sort of something, all of this stuff isn't happening. Mm-hmm. So
no, it's not happening.
No.
And Sasha's not making doe eyes at Uncle Jason like Willow made doe eyes at Uncle Drew. Right?
Yes. It's true. And yeah, we're not getting that either. It's like, it's very much an arrangement. And there is no hint of anything more. Steve Burton has pull, but when does he use it? Asks East Coaster. Times like right now, it seems. And also, Steve Burton is somebody who recognizes and understands his position on the show and the power that, quote unquote, that he could have. But generally speaking, the sense that I get from Steve Burton is he's pretty happy doing what it is that the show wants him to do. There's especially romance and relationship elements that Burton has opinions about. And I think that's because he has certain standards and moralities in his real life that he doesn't necessarily want to betray on screen. But it's also not like to the level of a Kirk Cameron, who's like, you have to completely rewrite Mike Seaver in order to, fill my wants and dreams. Yeah. I don't think that he's that level. He's a weird dude. I don't think Steve Burton's at that level, but I think that he's at a point in his... I don't know these people. I've never had a conversation. Don't come here for the news. I'm just talking about a stranger I've never met. I don't think I've ever met Steve Burton.
Yes, you have.
Oh, I have met Steve Burton. Yes, I have. I went to his thing. We took a picture. He said I had a nice beard. Better than Bradford's, at least.
And you know who I'm going to see in less than a month?
Steve Burton.
Steve Burton
and Bradford Anderson.
Yep. And I'll give you all a full report when I get back. So when I go see them on the 22nd, which is a Tuesday evening, and that next Sunday, I will tell you all about it.
Michelle says the irony is that Jack Brennan could still have a really long future post Carly. So I think Measure dropped the gun. Of course, as a Charlie fan, I do hope that this is true. I think that it's mostly true. I I don't necessarily subscribe to Charles Measure going, oh, well, that's the end of my popularity. Oh, well, that's not going to... blah, 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 blah. I don't see that, but I see somebody with a seasoned and long career who can kind of see the writing on the wall, had a lot of fun doing this thing, hanging out with this actress, playing this particular story, going, this is a lot of work. I'm having fun with this, but I don't really know who I'm going to be working with in the future. I'm somebody with enough cachet to my name that I could get other acting work that isn't this.
Right.
So instead of being in this potentially uncomfortable environment, I'm just going to go ahead and escape from it now. That way I satisfy my own mental health. I'm not getting wrapped up in some sort of backstage drama about a show that's been on for 60 years, that these people have been on for 30. I don't need it.
Yeah.
I could totally see that being the case. Totally.
Could too.
Yeah.
I could too. I loved when Jason told Carly, though, you're done.
You're done. You're done.
You're done.
You're
done messing with him.
I'm going to pull a Sonny. And
like I said earlier, I love the Lucas going to visit her. And I love that kind of like, you got brought in here in a bathrobe, sister.
Yes. Like, come on, how much worse can it be? Luckily, Cyrus is not around to digitalis her because she was having cardiac symptoms as well. That would have been a great cover. Dodged one bullet and caught the next. Oh, boy. East Coaster agrees they're not playing any sort of romance between Sasha and Jason. I think that Carly getting poisoned at this juncture and Jason rushing over there and saying you're done and showing these particular facial features and looks and reactions to him finding out that she was in a robe, which means that she was hanging out with Brennan. I think that Steve Burton is getting his way, and we are entering into another possibility in which Jarly would be able to launch.
I agree, and I'm looking forward to the conversation of Carly in the hospital bed and Sonny coming to go see her.
Listen, you just can't stay away from people like us, can you?
And that's it right there in a nutshell. That's it right now there. Carly is just so attracted to a dangerous man. So attracted to him. And she can hardly resist. That's why she married Sonny 5 times.
I know. We've heard it time and time again from people, though. Like, just people in real life, who were like, for some reason, I am just only into people who want to hurt me. There's something about the easy attainable one.
Thing that happens a lot, too. I'm into that person because they need rescuing.
Oh, I can help this man. Oh gosh. No. Instead, Brennan has recruited her daughter, has poisoned Carly, and is actually in charge of the WSB. They really utilize Valentin well. Oh my God. They've crafted such a perfect soap character in Valentin.
And didn't you love Jason and Valentin?
Yes. I liked Valentin everything this week. I think that they really used him well.
Yeah.
I like Carly and Jack.
The conversation, and I like Valentin shackled.
Well, he did commit some crimes. He does need to go to jail. I'm happy that he didn't catch a bullet from Brennan.
Me too.
Because that would have been sad.
And he was panicking his butt off. Valentin was panicking his butt off.
Oh, he thought it was the end.
He was inside that room and heard Carly's voice. He's like, oh shit, I'm about to kill Carly on accident.
My tweet about that was, whoopsie doodles. Valentin Cassadine off screen. Because he was like, wait a minute, that's voices. That's Carly's voice. And yeah, the look on his face was like,
yeah.
And then he left.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a real old crap moment.
Jeannie likes Carly and Jack for now with Jarly later on. That's great, sure. I mean, that really serves Carly, but gosh. I mean, does Jason need a woman? Or can he be okay without one?
I think he'll be okay with that one. I do.
So too.
Now, I really did think, and now, because of what we're seeing, I'm changing my mind for the reasons that you said and what you were, what you learned about Steve Burton.
Yeah.
Which I could believe that. I could totally believe that.
Yeah.
I really thought that there was going to be at least one big love story for Jason and one big love story for Carly. And then within 2 to 5 years they would be together.
That was probably the original intention.
That is on Fast Forward.
Yep, I think that might have been the original intention, and Steve Burton was just, come on. Like maybe even if they brought somebody new in, or they brought somebody old in, or something that wasn't the Anna direction, it might have turned out differently. But I think just like the audience too. And Steve Burton has said in things that we have witnessed, this isn't me putting words in his mouth. He said this before. If you think it's stupid, what do you think we think? So there had to have been something in there where he just knows it well enough at this point. Like, I recognize that on paper this seems interesting. I recognize that on paper she's Finola Hughes and I'm Steve Burton. But in reality, this ain't gonna work. And we agree. And we agree.
I'm never looking forward to it.
No, I don't think anybody was. I can't think of anybody in the chat that was just. I remember people in the chat being like, "I'm okay with it," but I don't remember anybody in the chat being like, "This is the moment I've been waiting for."
Yeah.
You know, like, "Oh my God, what an obvious pairing we've never gotten." Like, that was never the response.
No one said, "Let's go, Jaina."
I don't think they even got a name. Jaina, Asen. Oh gosh, somebody in the chat a minute ago, I don't know if I can find it again, said that Charles Measure was worried about getting Aidened. What does that mean? I want to know, whoever said that. What does that mean? Let's see, the Robin's mom thing would have been weird, says Michelle.
Me too. Because there was a more than one arc of a Jason and Robin. More than one arc. So yeah, it almost felt like a mother-in-law thing to me, which is icky.
I remember at the time, because I'm a GH defender. I want the show to do what it is that I think is right. And I remember at the time saying, well, Robin hasn't been on the show. Who cares anymore? Oh gosh,
Yeah.
I agree though. The Robin's mom thing would have been a little strange. And then hi phone girl 0416.
Ding 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 ding.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-ling. Sorry, I jiggled my cable. Phone girl 0416 loves Valentin. He needs to be with Anna. I hope he gets out of jail soon.
You know what? I enjoy Valentin and Anna together too, even though I think, what freaking rock got landed on Anna's head to make her that stupid? But I still enjoy the pairing a lot. I do.
It's good. I like it too. I enjoy them. I even enjoy them when they're not together. Like, so they were good together before the romance. They were great together during the romance, and they're still good together now. It's very much Anna Robert type of energy still, where you can see how much they still enjoy each other, how much they still care about each other, how they want each other to be successful and healthy and to not be in jail. But also at the same time, darling, you've committed too many crimes. And as the chief of police, I must police chief the police.
She was thrilled. She was thrilled that she and Jason got to that house and saved Valentin and got him a chance to hightail it out of there again.
She saved that man twice in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Yeah, and then she's going to put him in as protective of custody as she can inside the prison, which, you know, we've seen several times over. It's not that safe of an environment. But whatever.
It ain't.
But whatever.
And Jason's giving him a get out of death card. Not get out of jail, but a get out of death card.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what sort of terrible things are Rick and Cody going to do together? That's what I want to know.
Who?
Rick and Cody.
You think they're going to do something crazy together?
I think that is entirely... So here's the thing. Rick has finished his little arcs, and he needs new ones if we're going to keep Rick around.
Yes.
Especially since he's commuting. You know, it's very easy for Mr. Lansing to be like, all right, this isn't worth it anymore. So I want... Because, you know, Cody and Molly are starting to warm up. There's the whole Grand Theft Auto, but it was a mistake. So they're you know, playing that in the far back. And as it warms up, it'll become more prominent in the future. But we got isolated Rick and Cody scenes. And it makes me wonder, Rick's not necessarily the most altruistic man, neither is Cody. So there's possibility in there that maybe Rick's going to want Cody to do something for him that helps him with a Liz or helps him with an Alexis or helps Molly with something or something or something or something. I don't know what these details are yet. But I just, they isolated the two characters. They made sure that they had a conversation with one another. These are two characters that have never interacted before. And so me watching my television show, thinking about plot lines, why are we spending time doing this if it's not going to lead to something? So my question is, what sort of terrible things can Rick and Cody do together? I don't know. But it might be something.
It might be something.
It might be something. Phone girl 04616 wants Vanna back. I'm disappointed that they don't know what to do with Cody. We're there. They don't know what to do with Cody.
No,
It's totally true.
I thought maybe at the beginning when Lulu first came back and that's who picked her up on the road and stuff. I thought maybe there would be a Lulu and a Cody pairing, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Sandra, you're totally right. I think that they've kind of lost the pulse of Cody when they decided to make Sasha a Scorpio, which is great for Sasha. Just what a damn lead Sasha is, and just continues to prove so. And now she's a part of a major family and is the Scorpio representation that's on regularly. And
He's a Scorpio carrying a Quartermaine baby. You can't get more central than that.
Right. So it's been great for her, but it really kind of was at the sacrifice of Cody. And yeah, they don't really know what to do. I don't think they even really know what to do with Molly either. I think that they know that they have good engaging actors. But this is one of the symptoms, and I'm going to point to you, East Coaster, because we were talking about this a couple of weeks ago in the chat about having a really inflated cast like this. There's only so much story to go around, gosh darn it.
Right?
And so it sucks. It sucks because there's always something you can do. They are doing something. They're hanging out with each other. Rick is doing stuff, and they have something going on, but it's not what we would call direction.
Rick's he has two soft spots, and that's Molly. Of course, is his soft spot, and Elizabeth. He loves Elizabeth. Elizabeth brings the best out of Rick, actually.
That's why he loves her so much and wants Lucky to go away.
Oh, he desperately wants Lucky to go away. He's like, oh, you again.
I came back to town first, dude. I came back to town first. She should have been like, oh, Rick. But no, she's going, oh, Lucky. I'm not into this, man.
Even like I have criticized Jonathan and Rebecca's love scenes.
Yeah.
But I'm not criticizing the time when they're not kissing.
Oh, no. It's just simply how they're kissing each other.
Yes. The actual, the spoken words between the two of them and the way they are in the house, I love it.
Yeah, it's real good. They could just not kiss each other and it's going to be okay. I think they're trying to give the Lucky and Liz fans, a little canoodling, a little interaction like that.
Sure.
But I think that they could snuggle and get the same point across than the kissing. Or they could take advantage of Jonathan Jackson's lack of interest. And this is just me thinking about it as a writer and director, which I'm not. Either one of those things.
But you think like one.
But I try to think like one in the hopes that somebody notices one day and gives me a job. Fido? I can see what they could do is they could do the thing where like the door opens, right? The front door and it's Aiden. He's done this already once, right? And they had been making out like bandits, but you start the scene with maybe some noise off, a little rustle off screen. You don't actually see it. The door opens. You get the reaction from Aiden or whoever it is that walked in, Rick, and then you can pan over to Lucky and Liz where they break the kiss. Then you can use your own imagination to fill in the hot and heavy, but all you had was the comfortable.
Hello. Exactly.
But all you really saw, though, was the comfortable Jonathan Jackson kiss. There's ways to do it. However, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. The writers aren't at the studio. They're not watching this stuff. They see the edited product afterward. They get some notes. Hey, let's not write this into the scripts anymore. It's going to take a little bit of time.
Yeah, and a simple conclusion is we don't want to see the nitty gritty. We want to see the afterglow, and the afterglow doesn't require the nitty gritty.
Right, and so let's get rid of the nitty gritty. But like those notes would have to take some time. And clearly he's not against the idea. He's just not for it in the level that maybe Becky Herbst would have been.
Right.
So,
Right.
yep,
Right. Right. Right.
yep, yep.
Oh my goodness.
Brooklyn targeted Dante for money and also to see if he still had feelings for her.
Yes, that's what she said, huh?
So, impatient General Hospital fans out there, when you're like, well, what about the time in which she drugged Dante? Well, now we have a reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait for the show to get there sometimes.
Yep. Yep.
Charlie
Yep.
fans rejoice is one of my notes. So, if you're a Charlie fan out there, rejoice! Because Jason was like, I love you without saying it.
Yep.
Drew's power games with Kai and Portia.
Oh my gosh, he's Cameron, you doing a great job of
He
looking
is.
like a slimy
And
politician.
and again,
Good job.
we mentioned it before. Ezra Boyle, his political friend, showing that Drew is beginning to move and shake within the political world. He's really settling into the political power of being a senator. I wonder if they knew that this was going to be a big plot line on Beyond the Gates, and so they wrote it in for Drew. I don't know.
You never know. You never
Well,
know.
I mean, it's weird because GH is one of the ones that doesn't take forever. They take some time, but they don't take forever in order to produce and put their show on the air. It's possible.
It's possible.
It's possible. Or it's just some sort of epic soap coincidence. Because it's not like that's never happened. We talked at length earlier about who Sonny's dad was on Days of Our Lives, folks. Sonny. Sonny. So,
Yeah.
yeah, Michelle is rejoicing, so that's good. Jeannie wouldn't mind Molly and Cody. That's fine. Let's read through my list.
They have tested the water for us on that.
They,
They have.
it's fine. I thought that the roof thing was fine. I mean, the thing is, like, Cody's the only problem with it, honestly, and it's because of the commentary from before in which he's lost balance.
If they have to keep him interesting. They have to broaden Cody and give him some history.
They gotta give him something else. They gotta give him something because his history had been the present, which was great, which was wonderful until they took Sasha away from him.
Right.
So yeah, he needs something else because he did the spiral and then we didn't fix the spiral. So we left him at the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, and we don't forget that, right? Where's Taggart? He's in some gutter somewhere.
I know. Last thing we saw him do was spike his coffee with vodka.
Yep.
The last thing we saw him do.
Yep. Crying in an elevator. Okay, here we go. Politician Ezra Boyle, Daniel Cosgrove. I'm just going over the notes now, folks. Stewart's adopted son. He was Stewart's adopted son. Scotty
Yes.
Chandler. Yes. Drew's power games with Kai and Portia. So with Portia, he's like, listen. And she's like, I did the thing, so leave me alone. He's like, I
Right.
don't know if I'm going to leave you alone yet.
Yeah.
And then with Kai,
poor
he's
Kai.
like,
Kai's being inspired.
Kai, oh my God, so you're this guy, and then if you stand next to me, then people are going to take me more seriously. It's
Yeah.
no good. It's no
And
good. He's
Kai's
using
being-
Kai for something.
Yes, he's being hoodwinked. Kai is actually being inspired, thinking of what might be next for him. He's being inspired by all.
Which is what makes it so freaking tragic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Drew's screw him over in some way. And that'll be interesting for Trina because Trina's also like totally Team Kai after. Well, let's talk about this for 2 minutes before we hop off and are done for now. And we'll be back in an hour. Sprita fans rejoice.
Exactly. Sprita fans rejoice. And I actually think that was very well written, and I think it came off perfectly, actually.
They did it, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, the whole book thing and having everything, all your grief, even though you're happy now and so trying to move on, with all your grief just smacked in your face.
Just right back there. Just
Yeah.
right there. So
And the fact that she went home and she, isolated and she let Kai in the door, after speaking through him through the door. I thought that it really gave me a reason to really cheer for Kai and Trina.
oh, look at it working on you.
It worked on me. It
That's
did.
great. That's
Did,
great. That's
because
great.
she really opened up to him and she really gave him a real overview of how she and Spencer's love was real. And at the end of it, he wasn't come out of that thinking, well, I can't measure up.
No.
That's not how he came out. out of that conversation with Trina. I didn't feel like it anyway. Just it's really gave Trina some vulnerability to Kai, and it's a real moment of maybe this is for real.
Yeah, I mean, and that I think that's the moment that they explored with Trina. We didn't get what the Sprina fans were begging for on Twitter, which was the "I'm really sad" Trina show. Months and months and months of not shutting up about Spencer is what some of the most impassioned fans really wanted. And what they got was this, and what they got was what they were asking for. In the way that soap operas are going to do it, we're not going to spend. We didn't spend that much time mourning Sam.
Right.
We had a little time, but most of it was we got to catch Cyrus, not, how am I ever going to continue on?
Yeah.
Sure, Dante was sad. Sure, Dante was affected, but he wasn't like
No.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Which was the level that was being requested of Trina during this, which is screeching and acting out and putting herself in danger, and she should be alienating herself from her family, and she should be trying to find Spencer's body, and she should. No, but what we got was her putting a end to it. We got her putting a bookmark in that chapter of her life.
Yes, there is a point in grief where it's no longer looking at something doesn't bring you a heavy, heavy heart and go put you right back in the depths of your grief, where there is a point where seeing something will bring you joy and remembrance.
Yes.
There is a point in there.
And
Trina's about there with the book.
Yeah, she was totally there with the book. I think what the show allowed us to do was to climb into Trina's isolated world there in that moment as we went on the journey with her, where she felt that grief again, felt that love again, and said, I don't have to do this for the rest of my life.
Right.
There is opportunity out there for me to feel similar to what I did with this with somebody else.
And she's not there.
And since this is dead, like, this can't come back. She's not a soap opera viewer watching it going, I'm just waiting for Spencer to show up to mess with her life. From her point of view, he's done. He's gone. He's never coming back. Because Esme stole him from her for the final time in the final way.
Yeah, and Trina really does have some genuine feelings of affection for Kai now. She wouldn't be kissing on him if she didn't.
No, and so all of that was the releasing of the part of her grief for Spencer, her memories for Spencer, her loves for Spencer that was anchoring her in that moment in time. That was her letting go of that anchor so she can move on into the future, and she's doing so with gusto and excitement.
Yes.
It was so important.
Looking forward to the future again.
Looking forward to the future again. So what we got was the end of this grief cycle. What I guess a lot of fans out there wanted was more time with it, more specific moments for Trina. But I think what they were missing was how muted Trina had been during this time.
And I wonder, the fans out there, do you want Trina and Spencer together so badly that you would accept a new Spencer? I don't think all of you would.
Many of them would. But I think
so?
they're just also trying to cover their boner for Chavez.
I don't think Mrs. Chavez is ever coming back, you guys. I mean, his career would have to really poop the bed.
It's not going great. It's not going great. With my high pitched Zoom wanted to know if I was playing music. Anyway, folks, I think that's it. Get on the elevator. I
still need to watch another episode of Gates before 1:30.
Well, then we got plenty of time then. All right, then. Let's rush to the elevator then, because we got one more episode of Beyond the Gates to watch, because Mama was on vacation last week.
I was.
So
I'm grateful there was only 3 episodes of the Gates this week.
Right? Because you're like, I'm not going to finish.
I'm not going to finish. Yeah.
So let's let Mama do that, so we can talk about Beyond the Gates. We can talk about the new Ted, which we haven't seen yet. We could talk about the developments over in Fairview Crest and more speculations for the future. So like the video if you enjoyed yourself. Subscribe to the channel if you had a good time. Subscribe anyway because we want to get to the 1,000 mark.
We sure do.
We're slowly climbing there. So, share this with your friends. Don't unsubscribe and then resubscribe because that doesn't do anything.
No, so that doesn't.
Don't do that.
Trick it. You can't trick it.
You can't trick it. No. So that's it. Get on the elevator. Go back down to the first floor. Go into the parking garage, in which it's fine. There's just a lot of ambulances right now. A lot of screeching lights. A couple of hurt people out there. Was that Jocelyn? Nah, Jocelyn's partying in Florida. That wasn't Jocelyn.
Only one chick coming in a bathrobe today.
It's her mom. All right, tune your radios to previous episodes of The 10th Floor, which you can find on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. If you can't find it on your favorite podcasting platform, you can reach out to me on Twitter at 10th Floor GH, and I will send you in the right direction. Give us a follow while you're there so you can join the soap conversation all week long, as well as all of our other social media outlets. Just search 10th Floor Podcast. 10th Floor GH will come right on up when you look at it.
Yep, we will.
I already said like, I already said subscribe, so I'm not going to repeat myself by saying like and subscribe, because being repetitive during the ending would just be crazy. That's it. Go spend some time with your families, and we'll see you at 1:30. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And like I said, we'll see you in a little bit. Beyond the gates. Beyond the gates, beyond the gates. Bye.
Bye.